trio of James, Zoo, and Kawhi just really carried you guys. I know it was obviously a team effort, especially defensively, but those guys carried the bulk of the offensive scoring. Just what did you make out of the way they were able to bounce off each other, kind of with the scoring?
Yeah, just understanding how we wanted to attack, and Zoo's pressure inside is very forceful. So teams have to double team a lot of nights, and he's making the right pass, the right play. Kawhi just getting to his spots, taking advantage of mismatches, and James just reading the game. And so it's going to be different, like I said, every night. But those three guys were really good tonight, and so just having a professional win, to come out the second night of a back-to-back and play the way we did, was pretty impressive.
So when you played the Mavs back in 21, you introduced it to the band for Josh Ryan, and how much of that still stays with you as far as your offensive philosophy when you play certain teams?
Yeah, we touch the paint, we know we're a different team. When you get into the paint, teams are collapsing, over-helping, we're getting threes. If not, we're getting to the basket, to the free throw line. And so just, getting to the paint, and we do that, everyone eats. So we understand that. And so that's been our philosophy, like you said, since I've been here.
How do you look at that Dallas team, especially how they started? Like, they have positional size, especially at the four.
That's what we talked about before the game. I think the small Dinwiddie 6'6",
yeah.
And then Clay 6'6", and then you have PJ who's 6'8". They have a big unit. And so going into the game, I thought rebounding would be a factor. Which really didn't hurt us until the end of the first half, where they got, I think, 3 or 4 in one possession. But overall, I thought we did a decent job of, with a big lineup like that out there, just keep them off the glass and limited them to only 10 offensive rebounds.
What does it say that a team, it doesn't matter how big a team can line up, like you can still defend, rebound, execute your offense, get to the paint, get to the rim effectively, regardless of size?
Yeah, just taking advantage of how they're playing us, taking advantage of, what we have the advantage in, whether it's pick and roll, whether it's post-ups, whether it's ISOs, and just, playing the game and making the right play, And so, with Kawhi being back and like I said, James playing, at a high level along with Zoo, we understand how we want to attack teams and how we want to play on a nightly basis, no matter how we're being defended.
Coach, it seems like this team has really hit their stride offensively. It seems like you guys are playing a lot faster and in transition. Rather James on the floor, rather Ben. They're finding guys in transition, semi-transition. What is it about your guys that has really started to click? I know obviously Kawhi's getting his legs under Norm, coming back from an injury, James doing what he does, but the others, they're saying like you guys are playing with a certain pace now. At the beginning of the season, you say you don't like the way your offense was going, so your defense is carrying, but it seems like offensively you guys are really starting to hit your stride. What have you seen lately over the last month or so?
Getting Kawhi back, and playing more minutes, and then just getting our whole team. Like I said, being pushing the pace. Bobby has been great off the bench, along with DJ. It's been a total team effort, and then just getting our whole team back and playing together and understanding who we are. And so, I knew once Kawhi got back to being himself, I knew we'd be able to score the basketball. But we still got to have that defensive mentality, every single night. That's what's going to carry us. Because we know we're going to be able to score the basketball. But like you said, the pace is equivalent to touching the paint. If you're playing with pace, everybody's going to eat. We're going to share the basketball. Guys going to get open shots. And that's how we got to play. So I think we're finally understanding who we are. We're getting it down now that we're healthy. And we just got to keep it going.
Ty, earlier you mentioned James' ability to read the game. Tonight you had 14 assists, but as you mentioned, the reads that he was making, throwing guys into open spaces near the rim. Is this one of the best passing games you've seen out of him since you've had him on the team in the last 18 months?
It's been a couple. There's been a few, where, he's just picking teams apart, and the biggest thing is, like I said, having 14 assists and only 2 turnovers. And having 7 turnovers as a team, that's huge for us, just to keep building on what we're trying to do. If we take care of the basketball, we're a tough team to beat, and we understand that. And so if we're not turning the ball over, teams are not getting free layups and dunks in transition, we can get back, and teams got to play against our half-court defense, which I like.
What has set him apart from other players that you've had as far as passing? Because you coached LeBron, is there any comparison between the two in terms of the way that they've been able to read the game?
Yeah, making the right play, making the right read, and making guys better. That's what great players do, and that's what he's been able to do.
Hey, Coach, with the last 6 minutes of the game clock in the game, we saw Cam and Max Christie together as brothers on the court. Some thoughts that you might maybe have about that we never had so many brother couples in this league, like never before. So some thoughts about that, those two together.
One, they're rich. Get two brothers in the league together. That's huge. But no, just just the hard work, and I think, like I said, Cam be able to see his older brother, to be able to come to who he is, develop, play for the Lakers. You get traded to Dallas, he's a really good player. And then want to follow your brother's footsteps, you put in extra work and work hard to get to that spot. And he's done it. And he's been in the G League a lot this year, but he's really developing. He's young, I think he's 19, and so and then seeing those two guys on the floor together, I mean, it's special. They look like twins, really, but it's special. It's a special moment. And so last time we played them, I think, was it here or maybe no, in Dallas, whatever. We tried to get them on the floor so they can guard each other, and it was a cool moment. So to be blessed to have your brother play alongside of you in the NBA.
Do you maybe see there a reason why, like these days, we have so many of these brother couples in the whole league like never before?
I don't know. Maybe I need to ask some kids to find out. The way they getting paid right now to be somebody to take care of me.
Last one.
Ty, one of the things that Kawhi has talked about in recent seasons is that championship teams have a certain feel, there's certain qualities that they display during the regular season. You obviously know what that feels like as a player and a coach. This recent run that you guys are on, does it have that feel of the championship teams that you've been a part of?
Yeah, when you go to a game and you feel like you got a chance to win every night, that says a lot about your team and who you are, and so it's just a special unit, special group. Haven't had a chance to be together for a long period of time, but the guys are figuring it out. And like I said, the run we've been on is because of those guys. Like I said, putting ego aside, it doesn't matter whose night it is, be able to play through the game. And the biggest thing for us is just win games. And they've been able to do that. They've been able to put personal things aside in order to win games. And that's huge when you're trying to win at a high level.
Perfect. And no turnovers, I believe that was a stat. I feel like we've been hyping you up all season. You've been playing really well, but what can you say about that line in your game tonight?
I knew I didn't have any misses, but I didn't know no one ever did it before. But it's fun, man. Going out there competing every night. Teammates looking for me, trusting me with the ball, throwing it to me, and we're winning too. So it's been a lot of fun lately.
Jay, talking with Jay and Amir, they are trying to prepare you for the fact that you're not nobody's no secret anymore.
Yeah.
You had to catch and shoot maybe another shot, like 10 feet from the basket. Like, what are they trying to prepare you for as teams know what you're capable of offensively?
Bunch of stuff. We watch a lot of film. We're watching where the doubles are coming from. Then a lot of teams fronting me, and we work on all that stuff in a pregame. Jay's really, we don't do one thing only. Like every day, he's looking for a way to find something else to work on to get better at, like facing up in a post. It's our doubling, just facing up and seeing where the double is coming from. It's easier to attack when the teams are fronting me, to hold try to wedge the guy up so I create more space so they can throw it over the top. And him, Jay and Amir, they've been doing a hell of a job preparing me for every game in the bit, differently. Some teams are gonna show different defenses, and they're preparing me for each game different, and couldn't do all this without them.
One of the things that Ty keeps mentioning is that you guys, nobody's getting upset with minutes, nobody's getting upset with shots. Like, everybody just is really bought in. You've been a guy who at different points in your career, weren't playing 4-quarter minutes, weren't getting a lot of touches. Like, how challenging is that? And then how unique is it for a group like the one you guys have right now to be as bought in as they are?
It's challenging, man. All these guys were stars at some point in their basketball journey, high school, college, or NBA, but and everyone got an ego. But this team is really special, man. Bunch of guys who want to see each other do well, who are cheering for each other, and no one's pouting, no one's unhappy, no one's whatever. Everyone's whatever the job is, or whatever gets the job done, whatever gets us a win. Guys will do it, and they're not going to complain about anything.
With Kawhi, I know that the back-to-back talk is probably more on our side, but what did you make of how he looked today, and then how he's kind of appeared to just ramp up his play over the last couple of weeks?
Look great. It's been looking great the last few months, and he's looking like Kawhi that we know, that he's doing the stuff that we know he can. He's leading us. He's a bad dude on the court, both sides of the floor, and I was happy to see him play back to back. It's been a long journey for him, but he worked his tail off, and it's good to see him on a back to back.
Zoo, you've been getting more and more notoriety as the season's gone along, especially compared to like past few years. Is that strange to you? Like all of a sudden, all this attention is now just on you all the time compared to what it used to be?
Yeah, for sure. It's different. It's different on and off the court, and I guess it comes with it. Just I'm trying to do whatever helps us get a win, and whatever it is, I'll do it.
How's it different off the court?
Huh?
How's it different off the court?
You see me on the ESPN the other day.
How have you handled it? Like how have you handled the more acclaim, the more fame to kind of what you're doing?
Same like always. Not doing anything different. Just looking for ways to get better on the court. Looking for ways to adjust to all the different defenses that I've seen. Trying to get better with the double teams. Expect where it's coming from, where I'm gonna have my passes. Just trying to get better.
Zoo, you became the first player in NBA history today to get 25 and 10 with no misses and no turnovers. What are your thoughts on that?
It's a good record. I'm happy.
When we talk about this fact just right now and also the upcoming NBA awards, how hard is it not to think too much about all that and thinking of how your chances are in what situation?
I wouldn't say it's hard. I always just focused on the wins and for the ways to get better, to help my teammates and the team get wins, and the game will speak for itself. I'm gonna try my best on the court. I'm gonna compete. I'm gonna try to get us wins, and if I get some awards because of that, great. But I'm not too worried about it.
Thanks, Zoo. Appreciate it, Zoo.
Welcome.
What was it like to see Kawhi in that, doing a back-to-back, and how well he performed for us tonight?
He's been playing great ever since he's been back. Give it a couple games, shake the rust off. But other than that, he's been looking like Kawhi. So, tonight was no different.
So the fact that it was a back-to-back wasn't a big deal for him.
No, not to us. Kawhi's Kawhi. It's on him to build that confidence in himself, to go out there and play back-to-backs and play, 40 minutes. He feels it. He knows his body. And so tonight, he knows how important this game was for us, and he wanted to go out there and play on a back-to-back, and he did that. And, we fed off the energy that he was bringing and the points he was scoring and the defensive intensity that.
One of the things that Kawhi said recently was that the dynamic between you guys has been pretty special, where you guys can go at each other if need be, getting on each other and things of that nature. What has that been like? Obviously, you guys have been together for a couple of years now, but how has that grown since you guys first got together?
It's real. It's just real. We don't just sugarcoat nothing, and on the court, you see something, say it to me, or I see something, I tell it to him, and we move on. We're professionals, we're grown. We've over this, I've been here, this is my second year for the most part, and we've built a really good relationship. We hang out off the court, so we know each other. So our communication is just fluent. We say how we feel and we move on.
Yeah, when you look at the standings and everything, do
Can't
you
look at
feel like
standings.
that? No, but do you feel like just how close everything is allows you guys to come out and just perform at your best every single night, knowing there's no room to have an off game and off
I
night?
feel like everybody feel like that. That's the beauty of like, being the last handful of games. Like it's always like that. It's gonna be like that every single year with teams. Back is against the wall, and you got to go out there perform and and win games. And if you do that, then you position yourself to be in a really good place. If you don't, then end up being an 8 seed and having to play in, and who else knows what's going on. So for us, I think it's just play well, and I think good things happen for us.
James, when you look at how you guys are playing as this stretch, beyond just the record and the wins and the losses, like on both ends of the floor, the way that you guys are getting after it, how do you compare this to last year around this time as you guys were gearing up for the playoffs?
It's just different. It's just different. Different team.
Do you feel the way that you guys are playing, how does it feel on the court? Like, because you guys look incredible on the court on both ends of the floor. Like,
well, thank you.
Sorry, but
it's just different, man. It's a different team. Like we got guys that knows their role and know what they're supposed to be doing, consistently on a 99 basis, like from the beginning of the season. You know what I mean? So it's a different team.
What do you feel like makes it different this year as opposed to last year?
Personnel. I mean, you guys know, like the players that we had last year. So I mean, it's just a different team.
There was a moment in the second half where you guys got to stop. You kind of accelerated and slowed down. Everybody kind of stopped around you, and you figured out a way to get like a perfect and one basket. What kind of goes through your eyes as like the orchestrator of the team and just the point guard to know what to make, like what right play to make at the right time? Because it all happens really quickly from the outside eye.
It's a good question. You guys just got it. The decision making that has to happen throughout the course of an NBA game is very quick. So for me, I think I'm just so comfortable, being in that decision making, position to where it happens fast. And I'm not right, a lot of times. I turn the basketball over, I make wrong decisions, but more times than not, I'm gonna make the right decision. Whether it's me being aggressive or making the right pass. So, now and scoring a basketball. So if I'm scoring a basketball at a high clip and my decision making is on point, like you'll see stats like 30, 15, but sometimes I might have a couple of turnovers like last night. So more times than not, I try to make the right decision, and I think me being aggressive is going to help my decision making a lot easier because you see things different when you're aggressive instead of just so passive on your heels.
You had a perfect game with shooting wise, no turnovers, 25 and 10 and no turnovers. He talked on ESPN the other day about how much he's wanted to play with a pick and roll ball handler like you and how much you've helped him.
Yep.
What has that? I mean, obviously it's been almost 2 years now. But how is that evolution, and are there still levels to that to go? Like, what is that?
It's only been almost 2 years. Like what I did with Clint, it was 5-6 years, and Zoo was way more skilled offensively than Clint. You know what I mean? But like the understanding of knowing what to do each possession, whether it's a switch, whether it's a pick and roll. Like one play, I remember I came off a pick and roll, I snaked it. I don't know how. I think KD failed or something, and Anthony Davis ended up on me. He had a small on him. He was ducking in for like 2 seconds, and then I look at him, and he cleared the paint, and then he ducked right back in. I threw him the ball. He got an one. Like that right there is just like chemistry. That you need just time to build. So, and next year is gonna be even better to where it's like it's gonna be flawless. So, I'm just happy and love the work that he's put in and the understanding that we have for each other. And he caught a lob today, but that's not even like I'm getting to the rim to where it's like it's not even a lob. So if he was able to jump a little bit higher, he had 10 more points.
Thanks, Jeff. Strong enough to play on these second nights back-to-backs and play the minutes that you're playing, produce the way you are, and keep that sustainable.
Just how I'm feeling, really. The confidence is always there when I step on the floor, and everything's been going well. So, and we had discussions, and we all thought it was a good time to play.
Ty pregame said you kind of been bugging medical for a while to let you play in back-to-backs. What did you say this time to convince him?
It's like I said, it's just about listening to them and about their scenarios and how they calculate things and then just me listening, not trying to be a superhero and just trying want to stay healthy. Really, that's my number one goal. Like I always said for this year, is coming out of this season healthy.
Is this a hurdle you felt you needed to personally cross?
Say that again.
Is this a hurdle you felt you personally needed to get over?
No.
One of the things that you've talked about in recent seasons is that championship teams have a certain feel, there's certain habits that they have during the course of the regular season. Obviously, having won 2 titles and 2 Finals MVPs, do you feel like this particular group, the run that you've been on, are displaying those championship habits?
Yeah, at times. It's been a late start though for us. Right now, we have to get in the playoffs to even think about the championship run. And, that's the goal now. And we got to see what happens. It's no run without being in the playoffs.
Do you feel like you're getting stronger in certain specific areas that you feel like you need to be?
I don't think that way. It's all about me feeling good. And like I said before I came back, I felt good and I felt like I was moving well. And that's how I'm feeling day after day. Thinking like, oh, I'm feeling strong or something like that. It's not my mindset, and I don't think that way.
James was talking about how he and Zoo's relationship and development on the court, the chemistry has evolved over the years. Only been 2 years, but like how have you seen that both when you shared the court with them and from the sidelines?
Obviously they've been playing great all year. They are in that pick and roll a lot during the game. And James, being a Hall of Fame player, and Zoo, be able to be a starter and get the minutes that he's been playing and how he's been progressing. It's only right that they have chemistry and that they're talking on and off the floor. They have to figure out the best situations of each other great in the scenarios, and they've been doing that.
Would you say it's kind of helpful to go as underdogs into the playoffs? Thinking back then that Toronto Raptors also no one believed in that you guys can make it possible.
Not for me. I mean, any NBA team that's out there, or whoever you're playing against, if you're the number 1 seed, number 8 seed, they're trying to win the game, and nobody's thinking about underdog. It's like a media thing. There's nothing like that. I don't believe me being number 1 seed or being in the positions I've been in here, we don't ever feel that type of way.
You guys have a back-to-back coming up here on Tuesday, Wednesday against San Antonio, Houston. Do you feel like you'll be playing both of those? Do you want to play both of those, or do you need to?
We'll see when that time comes. About to focus on this win tonight and get some treatment and see how it goes in the next few days.
Did you see Zoo's appearance on ESPN?
I did not.
What do you think about him being on ESPN, knowing where he was when you first got to him?
I don't think nothing of it. I don't watch, Sports Center or any of that. But whatever he feels, I'm happy for him. I don't know what he was on there for. I know obviously he's an NBA basketball player. He's been playing great against that squad, but I don't know what the topic was or anything. So.
How have you seen him handle some of the extra attention that he's gotten? He's talking about both on and off the court. He's gotten a lot of attention. How do you think he's handled all that?
Great. You know what I mean? He's voicing his opinion on and off the floor during practices or games, and he's still showing up and he wants to play great. So, that's how you handle it. It's not really taking it to his head so much.
Appreciate it, buddy. Thank you.